When I tell you Latino Americans, they are crashing out in this video. I have seen several girls crash out in this video. They are crying. They're blaming the black Americans. They're like, why you guys are not fighting with us? Latino Americans, they said, we are struggling here. We barely can pay for anything. Even though we stay in a house with 50 people, it's becoming a struggle. I mean, it's scary out here. They're crashing out. And they want to know, why aren't black Americans speaking out? I'll tell you why. Because y'all voted for Trump. We told you not to vote for him, but you did it anyway. Look at the Latinos voting records, okay? So we told you this, but you wanted to vote for him because you thought that he would really sock it to us. And he's not even well, he's socking to us, but not in the way you thought he was going to sock it to us. He more socking it to you. All he cares about is white Americans, okay? So that's on you. So I want you guys to watch this video. We have black Americans that are speaking out about this, and I want to know your thoughts. Check this out.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her one-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that one-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment. You got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant, okay? So there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me off.
People are still resting, and they're gonna be resting for quite some time, okay? Because I don't think y'all understand the severity. Like, I think that there's some people out here that think that black people are playing and that we'll eventually get over this and we'll get back to work. No.
Harmony and people is calling black Americans cowards and carrying on because we not out there in the streets. They thought that we had no self-control. That's what they thought. They thought that when we was doing all that stuff, like in 2020 and Ferguson and Baltimore and stuff like that, and LA riots and stuff like that, it was just because we, they were so easily provoked that as soon as somebody do something to one of us, we don't have any strategy, we don't have any type of thought process. We just go like an attack dog. They thought that we had no self-control, and us deciding to sit out and being all on one accord and being strategic and not reacting is showing a level of self-control that they did not realize that we had. They thought they didn't know about us. They thought that we are messing up their perception of us. They are having a crisis about our identity, about Black Americans' identity. Everybody is. Immigrants are having a crisis about our identity. White folks is having a crisis about our identity. They thought that they could count on us. They thought they knew us. And they never knew us because they didn't know our motivations. They didn't know what we were doing. they just saw the effects and they heard what the media said and they took it and ran with it. So even the people that was like, oh, we support you, this and that, the other thing, they thought that we were, justified, but they also thought we were uncontrollable. Because that's why they'd be like, be peaceful when you go out there. I know you got to go out there, but do it like this. Like, they think they treat us like we're children, like we are feral, unruly children. And now that we are showing them that we was doing the whole time. But now that we are showing them now, yeah, we're good. You go ahead and do that. They can't handle it. They can't handle it because it's messing up what they thought they knew about Black Americans. This whole year has been a mind fuck for them. Between us sitting out, between us delineating, we're really showing them in real time who we are. But we always knew, what they say, if you don't know, now you know.
Y'all, Black Americans are playing a cold ass game right now, and motherfuckers do not know what to do with this shit. When I tell y'all we got people lost in the motherfucking sauce, y'all. And you know what I think it is? You know why I think we got people lost? Because we all keep saying it, right? We all keep saying Black Americans have this thing where we can telepathically communicate with each other. We don't have to talk. We don't gotta do extra bad, don't they, y'all? First it was calling everything woke. Then it was take away critical race theory. Then it was kill affirmative action. Then they wanted to annihilate DEI. Now they want to take out segregation from federal contracts. I'm here to tell you we don't give a. We're not taking to the streets to come and parade and march. You're not going to get us in neighborhoods vandalizing properties. You're not going to declare curfews because the blacks are running in the streets. We're chilling, man. We don't care. We're letting you show your true colors. We're letting you expose yourselves for who you are. And the world sees just who you are. Eventually, you'll deport enough Hispanics where they'll start to wake up, and you'll push out African ambassadors and they'll start to wake up. And when the vets lose all of their benefits, they'll start to wake up. And when the teachers realize that their classrooms have doubled in size and there's not enough teachers to fill these roles, they'll start to wake up. And the IRS workers, and so on and so forth. And eventually, they will realize who you are.
So it's clear that we are watching the fall of the American empire in real time. And there is a stark difference in the way that the white community is responding and how the Black community is responding. The Black community en masse has completely withdrawn. They fought, they campaigned, they warned us, and we chose the orange man anyway. And they're out. The white community, on the other hand, is fighting, those of us who aren't under Trump's spell. And there is this real sentiment that if we can just get Trump out of the way, then we can all get back to normal. But the thing is, that's not what God is doing. And I'm not a nihilist, but we're missing the point. The point is this white supremacist system has wreaked enough havoc. Enough. And God is judging it. And the fact that we are clinging so hard to it makes me wonder, what does the Black community see that we don't, that's allowing them to totally let go right now?
Before everybody start fear-mongering and
People are trying to figure out how and why Black people have collectively withdrawn from this country, essentially.
So it's clear that we are watching the fall of the American empire in real time. And there is a stark difference in the way that the white community is responding and how the Black community is responding. The Black community en masse has completely withdrawn.
Black people are still resting, and they're gonna be resting for quite some time, okay? Because I don't think y'all understand the severity. Like, I think that there's some people out here that think that Black people are playing and that we'll eventually get over this and we'll get back to work. No.
Yeah, their playbook was black people fighting in the streets all summer. They wanted a summer of violence. They wanted all those video clips of black people being violent. And the entire black community collectively in one voice heard their ancestors say, rest, stay home.
I replied, this comment is entirely false in every regard. You're a white person who categorizes yourself as a commie. So obviously you think that protests are only effective if black people are there to be under the tank treads, right? You think that it's only a real protest if black people and the cops are there and the black folks are being brutalized by the police. This tells me all I need to know about you. Tankies want their fantasy of a bloody revolution. Forgive the Homestuck reference here, but they don't want a LARP revolution, they want to FLARP it. They want fatal live action role play, and they want the most vulnerable folks in the community to be sacrificed, to be brutalized, because they think it will bring about their authoritarian communist utopia. When I say that white tankies, white communists are not safe, and that they want authoritarianism, they just want their own flavor of it. They don't actually want liberation. They don't actually care about the most vulnerable. They don't actually care about injustice. They just care about their fantasy. This is exactly what I mean.
Hey, white people, let's talk. Sometimes I forget that white people aren't as engaged with black creators on this app and in the world as I am. So there was something over the weekend that I thought everybody was very well aware of, but I'm understanding that that's not the case. I was talking to my mom today, and she and my brother went to a protest on April 5th to protest Trump and all of the things that have been happening for the last couple of months. So she was telling me about her experience, and she said it was like a love fest. It was so nice to be with all of these people, thousands of people, and everybody signs and all this stuff. And I said to her, did you notice that there weren't many black people there, if any? And she was like, yeah, actually, I did notice, and I was confused, and I was like, I thought black people were really upset about him too, and I didn't understand. This is my mom talking. So I explained to her that 92% of black women and 80-some% of black men did what they were supposed to do back on November 5th. And they are now resting, and they are not participating in these here protests. And that there was a concerted effort for black folks to stay home yesterday on April 5th. And to be honest, I think she's still confused about the why. But I'm working on that. But do yourself a favor and follow black content creators here on TikTok, because you will learn so much, and you will be able to use your new knowledge to help educate the people that you are in proximity with. But yeah, white folks, if you didn't know, black folks said, we're not marching on April 5th. We're not doing it. We're going to stay home. We're going to let white people get us out of this mess, because white people got us into this mess. The more you know.
Black people.
We talk about cost of living and the rise in costs of everything. And on the daily, I have people reaching out to me saying they've contacted Salvos, they've contacted Vinnie's, they've done this, they've done that. They've gone on to Ask Izzy, they've made the phone calls, they've done the legwork, but they get nowhere. And I've seen this also happen with people when I'm trying to help them. You know, we do have community kitchens that get food, but it's honestly sometimes not the best, and it's out of date as well. These charities and organizations get millions upon millions. They don't have to disclose what they're doing with the funding because they're a charity or they're a church, but the people that are suffering are the people on the ground. They're the single mums, they're the single dads, they're even like a couple, they're even struggling because, you know what, mortgages have gone up to $1,500 on average a week. Then you've got rent that's at like on average $600-700. People can't do it. You know, it's getting to the point that people are really, their mental health is suffering. And 10 years ago, the World Health Organization did say that mental health would be the biggest in the world. We wouldn't have to worry about diseases or war or anything like that. What would take people out is the life in general. But something has to change, because these organizations can't be getting the funding that they are, but they're not hitting the ground. So where's the money going?
America has become completely unaffordable, and I don't know why more people are not talking about this. Half of America doesn't even have a savings, rent is insane, healthcare is a luxury, and somehow the narrative is still people are just bad with money. Like, what money? People are working full-time, most people have 2 to 3 jobs anymore because you have to. At what point do we stop blaming the people and just accept the fact that the cost of living has simply just outpaced reality? Because everything is this expensive, you have to know exactly where all of your money is going anymore. Like, a budget is just simply a necessity. You have to have one. Started using a budgeting app like mine to figure out where all of my money is going, but it does not make up for the fact that America is too expensive to live in anymore. If you're struggling, you are not alone.
Is it just me, or is this inflation getting out of hand? I mean, everything's gone up. Beef prices, your rent, your insurance, your property taxes, everything's went up except your pay.
All right, look, it should be no surprise that there is an overall silence coming from the black community. Literally, America is crumbling to pieces, and you have barely heard a peep from black people. And I actually find it extremely surprising that people actually expect black people to feel sorry or feel some type of sympathy for the downfall of America. After everything that America has put us through, do you really think that we're all in silence sitting back thinking about now we can fix this, we can bring things back to the way they were? No and no. We do not want things to go back to the way they were. And you know what's crazy? I think a lot of people mistake this silence that's coming from the black community as a lack of awareness, as if maybe we don't know what's going on. You might see us dancing and having fun and playing around.
It's literally getting to a point where we're all working for free. With gas prices on the rise, food costs going up, more people are having to hit up food banks. It literally feels like we're just working for nothing anymore. We're being completely priced out of existence. There's so many people that are out here losing everything that they have, myself included. It's like a year and a half ago, I went from having my own place, a phone, my car. I was still able to afford to buy food every week. And now I'm down to my car and my phone. And I'm still struggling to afford that, along with gas, food, everything else. Like, it's kind of getting to a point where it's just kind of like, why even bother stressing about any of this anymore? It's like, if you can live for today, live for today. You know, it's like your time is never coming back, and it doesn't really make any sense to sell your time for money that doesn't even buy anything anymore. You get a full tank of gas. It's like you're spending anywhere from $60 to $80. You buy yourself like 4 or 5 things from the store, and you're spending like $100. And it's just kind of getting to a point where it's just kind of like, why even try anymore? We're working for free. We're busting our ass. We're not getting rewarded the way that we should be getting rewarded. I honestly feel like we should go on strike. We should be rising up, because how are we expected to survive, if that makes sense?
Clear to me that a lot of y'all have never been in a toxic relationship, and unfortunately I have. But let me tell you how this goes. In a toxic relationship, you usually have one person who isn't shit, right? It's usually the man. And the man is, emotionally abusive. He is a cheater. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. He gaslights. He's narcissistic. But he also has a lot of potential, right? He also can be very loving. He also promises things to come in the future, right? He also can be very exciting at times. And those things keep the woman around. But when things are bad, shit goes up, right? Windows get broken, cars get scratched up, TVs get shattered, broken glass everywhere. Just a lot of chaos in these situations at times, right? And this goes on. These ebbs and flows, these ups and downs go on for years sometimes. But at some point, the abused party in his relationship just completely wakes up and decides that he or she is over it, right? And when that happens, there is no blow up, there is no broken windows, there is no shattered windshields, there is no scratched up cars. There's just calm, right? There's folded clothes, there's neatly packed possessions, and that person decides to go on about their business. And that's where black people are with this country at this point, right? Like, we're just sick of y'all shit. And we're not going to protest. We're not rioting. We're not doing none of that shit. You know what I mean? Most of us are just simply withdrawing, going on about our business and surviving like we know how to, like we have always done since this country, since before this country was founded.
Getting out and just knowing someone's gonna stab you. Why would you get out? This is beginning. This is the beginning of life. What am I supposed to do forever?
So I just seen a video, right? It's a white guy, seemingly intelligent white guy, was talking about the response between different racial groups, specifically the white community and the black community. He is putting emphasis on how historically in times like this, how we have always reacted differently from the white community. He is noting, which he is right, that we as a people are very indifferent about the things that are going on right now. We have been fighting and we have been advocating against this machine for years, decades. I mean, before my existence. And now we're at a point to where things seemingly looks irreversible, or we have washed our hands with this. And there are whites that are fighting, righteously so. There are whites that are fighting for the core values and principles that this nation was supposedly founded on. There are people that still believe in America and the foundations of that. Us as a whole, we have never really seen many benefits from that. So that's why we are indifferent. Spiritually, it's obvious that black folk are very spiritual folk as well, which is why we also move differently collectively as well. We know that the foundings of this nation, it was founded by an entity. And we're not talking about physically, we're talking about spiritually. There was a certain mindset that was being utilized when this foundation was created. That entity spiritually still exists. I need y'all to understand, an entity that we have had to fight perpetually, at least over the last 400 years. So we see it differently because of that. We know spiritually what we're up against. We know what that means for our existence. We know what y'all are finding out and experiencing for the first time. I know it's a shock to y'all. We have learned to not only survive, but thrive in this type of climate.